I've reviewed over 300 gaming laptops. These are the best ones I would pick at each price range. I'm making this video just before Black Friday sales to help you decide what to get, so prices might go even lower than what I'm about to show, and I'll be picking laptops based on sale prices. Because honestly, all laptops go on sale, and I don't think that anyone should be paying full price. And that's why we share the best sales on our GamingLaptop.deals website. Save money on your next gaming laptop with that link below. Alright, let's start out with new entry-level gaming laptops with a $500 to $600 budget. The best option I've seen so far is Lenovo's lock with RTX 4050 graphics for $550. The lock has a better build quality compared to others in this price range, as well as extra features that are usually only found in more expensive laptops, like Advanced Optimus, which gives you more FPS in games, especially esports titles. HP's Victus with RTX 4050 graphics has also gone on sale for $550, but we also had a Victus deal with 4050 last Black Friday for $500, so I'm not sure if that's a result of tariffs or what. Either way, I think the lock has an edge over the Victus. As the Victus has a lower GPU power limit, which means less performance, the Victus does not have a mux switch, and the build quality of the Victus just isn't quite as good. So for around $550 or so, both the Victus and lock definitely have their place, but if available, I would definitely lean towards the lock as my first choice. Now let's say you've got up to $700 to spend. That opens us up to laptops with more powerful graphics. At this price range, it should be possible to scrape a gaming laptop with Nvidia's newer RTX 5050 graphics, which has 8 gigs of VRAM instead of the 6 gigs found in the last gen 4050. But if you can find a laptop with the older RTX 4060, that's likely going to be a better move. Based on my testing, the older RTX 4060 is about 8% faster compared to the newer RTX 5050 across a 25 game average at 1080p. Of course, the problem is they've stopped making 4060 laptops, so when stock runs out, it's all gone. We've seen ASUS's tough A15 from last gen with RTX 4060 graphics go on sale for $650 this year. Granted, the last time we saw that sale was around 3 months ago, so yeah, those older 4060 options do pop up, but they are going to get harder to find as time goes on. Failing the 4060, on the more common 5050 side, so far we've seen Acer's Nitro V16 on sale for $630, while Lenovo's lock has gone for $650. But again, the lock is a better machine in my opinion, and I think it's easily worth the $20 extra. Lenovo's lock and ASUS's TUF are the best budget-friendly gaming laptop designs that I've tested. So if you can find either with 4060 graphics at this price range, that's great. But if not, try and find them with the 5050 for around $650. Maybe up to $700 as a maximum. It really depends on what the upcoming Black Friday sales have to offer. So then, what if you've got up to $800 to spend? Well, the best option we've seen so far is Lenovo's lock yet again, but for $799 with RTX 5060 graphics this time. We've also seen Lenovo's higher tier Legion 5 from last gen available for $799 with RTX 4060 graphics. Based on our testing, the 5060 is around 9% faster compared to the 4060 in a 25 game average at 1080p. So strictly speaking, the lock with 5060 will likely run a bit better in games at the same price, but the Legion offers nicer build quality, so it depends on what your priority is. But if you're after a bigger screen, Lenovo's Lock 17 with 17-inch screen has gone on sale for $766 so far with RTX 5050 graphics. Unfortunately, bigger gaming laptops with larger 17 to 18-inch screens typically cost more than their 16-inch counterparts, so you've usually got to pay a bit of a premium for that. Alright, let's see what we can get with up to $900 next. Purely in terms of highest tier graphics, we've seen HP's Victus and Lenovo's lock available with RTX 4070 graphics for $899 and $879 respectively, which is an absolute steal for that level of performance. But again, these are last gen models, so they're probably going to get harder to find with fewer sales. Or if you're after portability, ASUS's smaller tough A14 with 14-inch screen has gone on sale for $899 with RTX 4060 graphics, and that offers solid value for what you get. The TUF is easily the best of the budget 14-inch laptops, but in terms of newer 2025 models with the newer 50 series graphics, so far we've only seen Alienware's Aurora with 5050 graphics available at $899, but honestly, I think that's a bit too expensive for a 5050 compared to others we've already looked at. But apart from the Aurora, interestingly, we haven't had any other RTX 50 laptops hit this price range on sale. They're either slightly above or slightly below. For me, I'd try and score one of those 4070 laptops for $900. But if that's not possible, I'm really hoping that we see more 5060 options on sale this Black Friday around that $900 mark. So keep an eye out on our deal site for updates. It's definitely worth bookmarking the page and even signing up to our deal email newsletter. That way, as soon as we find the good deals, you'll get them straight to your inbox. So then, what can we get if we increase our budget up to $1,000? Quite a lot, as it turns out. We're now firmly in RTX 5060 territory. The best option if you're after power for $999 is HP's Omen 16 with RTX 5060 graphics and AMD processor, so it's got excellent performance for the price. The Omen's chassis is all plastic and feels a little on the cheaper, more flexible side, so if you wanted better build quality, you could instead look for something like Lenovo's Legion 5 with 5060 at $950. This one also has a Zen 4 processor, like the Omen, but the advantage of the Legion is it's smaller at 15.1 inches, has nicer build quality, and a beautiful OLED screen, all while being $50 less. Personally, I would pick the Legion, otherwise in this price range, you might see some more deals on last-gen 4070 laptops, which should perform a little better in games than the 5060. But again, those are only going to get harder to find as people start buying them and stock runs out. Next up, we're looking at laptops between $1,100 and $1,000. The best option I've seen so far is Lenovo's Legion Pro 5 on sale for $1099. This one has RTX 5060 graphics, a modern Arrow Lake processor, and much nicer build quality compared to most of the other laptops you'll find in this budget, like Acer's Nitro, Alienware's Aurora, or MSI's Katana, for example. The Legion Pro 5 is just a solid all-round option for this price. But if that deal doesn't come back around, Gigabyte Zero X16 with RTX 5060 has regularly gone on sale for $1,050. So I'd be very surprised if we don't see it dip down to $1,000 closer to Black Friday. The Arrow is a thinner design, making it very portable. It runs cooler and quieter than most others, and has impressive battery life. But its keyboard deck has a bit of flex, there's no advanced Optimus, and its spare M.2 slot can't fit bigger drives with chips on both sides. Still, I think the Arrow makes more sense compared to spending more for some of the other budget options I just mentioned, like Acer's Nitro. At $1,100 to $1,200, we start seeing gaming laptops with RTX 5070 graphics coming into budget. And just for some context, the 5070 is around 16% faster than the 5060 in my 25 game average at 1080p and 1440p resolutions. The best option we've seen so far is Lenovo's Legion Pro 5i yet again, but this time with the higher tier 5070 graphics for $1199, which ends up costing 9% more money compared to the 5060 version I mentioned in the last category. So spending 9% more money for 16% more FPS in games by going from 5060 to 5070 sounds pretty fair to me. Apart from the Legion, HP's Omen 16 with 5070 graphics and 8940 HX processor has been available for $1,150 in the past. I'd try and get the Legion though, as it has nicer build quality, a better screen, better battery life, nicer software, and more. Alright, we're going to start increasing the budget in $200 increments now, because from here we start seeing less difference as we go up. Purely in terms of best performance in games, MSI's Vector 16 with RTX 5070 Ti graphics is honestly a steal at $1299. Yeah, the Vector is more of a budget machine, but the RTX 5070 Ti is 33% faster compared to the lower tier 5070 below it, and this is the biggest uplift we've seen between generations so far as we've we've worked our way up through the price ranges. Not to mention, the 5070 Ti gets you 12 gigs of VRAM instead of the 8 found in the lower tier 5070, 5060, and 5050, which will just give your laptop better longevity in newer games for all the reasons I covered in this one with Steve from Hardware Unboxed. The important takeaway is that if you can afford a 5070 Ti, get it. It's definitely worth it. As long as it's not with a stupid configuration like a low quality 1080p screen or something. Apart from the Vector, the next best option we've had was HP's Omen Max 16 with 5070 graphics. This Max version of the Omen has a much nicer design compared to the cheaper non-Max, as well as an optional OLED screen. I'd definitely say it's a nicer laptop than MSI's cheaper Vector, so it'll come down to whether your priority is on max game FPS and longevity with the 5070 Ti, or otherwise a more premium gaming laptop with better build quality and features, but with lower 5070 graphics. At $1,400 to $1,600, we've now got more 5070 Ti options available. On the lower side of that price bracket, we've seen HP's Omen Max 16 with 5070 Ti go for $1,420 to $1,470, depending on which CPU you pair it with when ordering with the link below. But if you wanted something thinner, then prepare to pay more. Acer's Helios Neo 16S with 5070 Ti has gone on sale a few times at $1,599, which is already excellent value for what you get, so hopefully we see it drop a little lower during Black Friday sales. The Neo is thinner and lighter, it has a nice OLED screen, and the internals run relatively cool, though battery life wasn't that impressive, and the middle of the keyboard can feel a bit warm. Not too surprising, as again, it's a thinner design, but still a great laptop for the money. Up next is the $1,600 to $1,800 price range. At this point, you're typically spending more in order to get a thinner, more premium design, like Lenovo's Legion 7i for $1,622, but with RTX 5070 graphics. Honestly, that's a lot to spend to be stuck with 8 gigs of VRAM, but overall it is a very nice laptop that I really liked from the review, so it could be a great option if gaming isn't as big of a priority for you, or if you're after a smaller 14-inch. Razer's Blade 14 with 5070 graphics recently hit a record low price of $1799. Again, that's a lot for 5070 graphics, but it's also just the way it is if you're after a smaller laptop. You spend more to get less. A budget of $1,800 to $2,000 allows you to consider higher tier RTX 5080 graphics options, with the right sale at least. And for some context, the 5080 is around 18% faster compared to the 5070 Ti in my 25 game test at 1440p, or 23% faster if you're looking to game at 4K. Technically, the best sale we've ever seen was HP's Omen Max 16 with 5080 for $1,830, but that was months ago now. I really hope that deal comes back over Black Friday, because it was crazy value that we just haven't seen since. But if it doesn't return, then look out for Lenovo's Legion Pro 7i, which I think is a better option, though at around $1,900, you're still looking at RTX 5070 Ti graphics. You can definitely get 5070 Ti level performance for less, as we've seen. It's just that the Legion Pro 7 has nice to have extras, like flashy RGB lighting, removable keycaps, and a brighter OLED panel compared to all other laptops this year. Well, all other non-Lenovo laptops. For some reason, Lenovo's OLEDs are closer to 500 nits, while all other brands are closer to 400 nits. But out of the deals we've actually got right now on the deal site, MSI's Vector with 5080 is available for $1,899. That still offers great value for the price. But if that Omen deal comes back around, I'd jump on that instead, as overall it's a higher quality laptop. Otherwise, for the portability lovers, we've seen ASUS's Zephyrus G14 with 5070 Ti graphics go on sale for $1999. Again, you're spending more with a 14-inch laptop to get less. But this is objectively the best 14-inch gaming laptop available at the moment, and it's the only one that goes above 5070 graphics. And even when factoring in the best sale prices, from a cost per frame perspective, that is how much money you spend per FPS of performance you get in games, it still comes out ahead of cheaper 14-inch laptops that are stuck with the 5070 and its 8 gigs of VRAM. So to summarize, at $1,800 to $2,000, it should be possible to get a 5080 with a good sale, or otherwise a very premium 5070 Ti laptop like Lenovo's Legion Pro 7 or Asus's Zephyrus G14. At $2,000 to $2,200, we haven't actually had that many good options yet. It's a sort of weird no man's land until we get to 5090 pricing, but we have listed HP's Omen Max 16 with 5090 graphics at $2,199 in the past. So hopefully we see some more 5090s hitting this price bracket during Black Friday sales on the deal site. At $2,200 to $2,500, we've only listed one other 5090 laptop on the deal site, which was Alienware's 16 Area 51. Surprisingly, Dell have actually run some good sales on their Alienware lineup this year. I'm guessing they got sick of not selling many over the last few years. Anyway, the high-end Alienware stuff is pretty decent this year, but it's also on the heavier side. Outside of that single 5090 option, the $2,200 to $2,500 price range has mostly been sales on 5080 laptops, like Lenovo's Legion Pro 7 for $2,250 to $2,330, depending on how you spec it, which is my pick for this price range. But again, portability lovers might want to look for Asus's Zephyrus G16 with 5070 Ti, which has gone on sale for $2,300 so far. Don't get me wrong, this is crazy expensive for a 5070 Ti that's not even full powered, but this exact spec is my personal laptop right now that I bought with my own money. But I'm willing to spend more for a lighter weight machine with good performance and an OLED screen, despite the compromises of lower GPU power and soldered RAM. The Zephyrus definitely isn't for everyone, but if you want a mix of lightweight, decent performance, decent build quality, I think it's one of the best options currently available, and it still costs less compared to the competition like Razer's Blade 16. If you're looking to spend $2,500 to $3,000, I would expect RTX 5090 graphics. That said, a lot of the deals we've seen in this bracket still come with 5080 graphics, like Asus's Scar 16, which is a good laptop, but I'd happily spend less and get the Legion Pro 7 myself. But if you want the Legion Pro 7 with 5090, the best we've seen so far is just under $3,000, though that is also with 64 gigs of RAM and 2TB SSD. Otherwise, this price range is also for those of you after bigger 18-inch gaming laptops. Lenovo's Legion 9i with 5080 graphics has gone on sale for $2,940, while Alienware's 18 Area 51, also with 5080 graphics, has gone on sale for $2,550, though depending on how you spec it, up to $2,999 is possible too. Again, generally those bigger laptops just cost more money. I recently compared 7 18-inch gaming laptops from all brands, and the summary was that the Legion 9 was the best, followed by the Alienware 18 Area 51. So they're both great 18-inch options that I can easily recommend, especially the Alienware. On sale, it's been one of the cheaper 18-inch options, while also being one of the better ones. At $3,000 plus, you're basically made of money and can get anything you like. These are mostly the 18-inch laptops, but with 5090 graphics now, as again, bigger 18-inch machines typically cost more than their 16-inch counterparts, even with the same specs. If value still matters to you and you're after an 18-inch machine, Alienware's 18 Area 51 for $3,600 is absolutely the move. And if you don't care about money, Lenovo's Legion 9 is the best, but typically costs anywhere between $4,000 and $5,000 depending on how you spec it. But those are just what I would pick based on prices we've shared on the GamingLaptop.deals website. Chances are we'll see better sales coming up over the next couple of weeks as we get closer to Black Friday. So yeah, you're going to want to check out the deal site frequently, as we're going to be updating it multiple times a day. And if you're not sure which gaming laptop is best for you, use my laptoppicker.com tool with the link below to find out. Simply answer 3 questions and you'll find the best laptops ranked based on our review data. Or if you'd prefer a video, check this one out next where I've compared some of the best gaming laptops of the year.